Howdy YouTube, welcome back. It's Paul, Attempted Auto. February, it's pretty cold out here. I guess I'm getting old. I don't really care to lay in the snow, and well, it's not snow now, but I don't care to lay in the cold to do, you know, brakes, exhaust, things like that. So I've got a tiny little one-car garage under my house, and I've kind of got it organized enough that I can stick a car into it. So that's what I'm gonna do. I've been collecting pieces and parts for this car for literally years, but I just finally came up with a body for it this last, well, maybe spring now at this point, or early summer. But let me show it to you, and let me explain what we're gonna be doing. Here it is. This is my 1932 Chevy two-door sedan. I found this thing in Ohio kind of by accident. I was coming back from Summit Racing. This thing was sitting in a gravel yard, a few other old cars and pieces and parts and stuff. So I turned around, I went back, made the guy a pretty low offer, and he accepted. Maybe you're thinking that my low offer wasn't really all that low for what I got, but it's actually not terrible. We'll show it off better when we get it inside, but first thing I got to do, it's sitting on a pallet. We got to get this thing down to the garage. I built a body cart that we'll get it set on, and we'll see if we could start making it car shaped again. So let's get working on that, and we'll see what we end up with. Let's go. Okay, so the car is now in the garage, on the cart, but it's just kind of sitting on the cart. We gotta do something better with that. But let's take a look at it. So if you look down the side of this, you can see this thing it's in rough shape as far as that goes. See, I don't know if you can see how much movement. But it's actually pretty much all here. There's some rust down low here. If you look into that corner right there, you can see right through it. There's some rot in that back. I think the bottom of that, no, it's this door here. That actually is in good shape. The bottom of the driver's door here is a little rough. So we have, oh, where is it? Right here. We got some holes in it. But it's like, it's way out of shape. Okay, so what I want to do is get this thing centered and moved up on the cart. Up here. Centered on here. Then we're going to level the cart, level the body with the cart, and then try to make it as close to car shaped as we can. You see most of the wood on this side is gone. Most of the wood on this side is actually still here, but in very poor shape. And I have just ratchet straps kind of holding everything together. So again, the first step, let's get this thing as far forward on the cart as we can. I'll get it tack welded up here. Then we'll work on getting everything level and square. Get the doors tacked on where they belong. And then we'll start bracing and stuff like that. So let me set you down somewhere, see if I can scoot this thing ahead, and we'll go from there. So now that we're pulled all the way ahead and we're relatively square, not square, even on the body cart. Oh yeah, I have a chunk of the floor, the original floor in here too, which I'll probably do nothing with. Actually, I probably shouldn't have even left it in here. It's probably going to be in my way. But anyways, now that we've got it kind of sitting on here, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to start straightening this out, tacking it down, and then we'll get it all square and level. Well, we'll see how that goes. So I have this stitched in, and I have it welded to my body cart. You can see I put 1-inch spacers in here, and that's just so that the body isn't going to touch everywhere. I think I'll have an easier time getting this thing straight. But, sorry, moving you around a lot. But if you look, it's flush to the front. And I have a center mark here that I scratched in, and I have that up to my center mark, which is scratched in right here. And with the body now centered, we can work on this side. Oh, I probably have you too close. This side, which you can see is twisted in. So we're going to try to pull that out and then weld it to here. And I'm hoping I could just throw these on it. Maybe. Maybe. Well, getting there. We're mangling it a little bit. We'll have to probably put that back. See if I can set you down. Set you down without having you fall. See if we can get this thing somewhere right from there. There, that's better. All right, so let's get this straight up and down. And let's buzz this in. All right, that's ready for weld. we should be good now. Oh, that's pretty good. All right, that's pretty good. I can straighten all this crap up now that we're stuck down. So, with the front of this strongly to the cart, I think the next thing I need to do is get these doors so that they're where they belong. So if the cowl is where it belongs now, and I get the doors where they belong, then the back has to be where it belongs. So I gotta unstrap everything, which gets me a little nervous. I think I'm actually going to hang the body from the that beam across there, just loosely, just so that if things go bad, it doesn't fall in pieces all over the place. So once I get these, I'm just gonna cut pieces of 16 gauge and I'm just gonna tack them to the body and to the door for now. I don't care if they open for now. But once I get them done, I can then find center in the back. I can get that where it belongs, and then I can start making it body shaped again. So let me get the car hung from that beam. We'll start with this door. I'll get this door off. As you can see, I'm pretty tight in here. This is the other side. So we'll get this side, then I'll slide the cart over, and then we'll get that door. I'll bring you back when I have this thing in a position where there's something to talk about. So I have this door off. I've already been able to pull the B-pillar out a little bit to kind of get this shaped. You can see that the striker is kind of boogered. But look at the spread on this side. So this whole side is like pushed out, pushed back. So that's why we got to get these doors tacked on. I have it sitting over here right now. I had to drill out nearly all of my hinges, but they move. So that's why it's kind of, I don't know, the steps that I'm taking to get the doors straight and on there, just tacked in place. I'm gonna, like I said, a piece of 16 gauge. Once I have it all shaped right, I can square it up, I can make it right, I can brace it up real good, and then when I put it on the frame, then I could do all of the permanent stuff, the A pillars, the B pillars, all of that stuff. So for now, I really just need it to hold together, and that's what we're working on. And that's why I don't care if the hinges are, you know, usable yet or not. I'm just gonna stick them back on, tack the doors in place, move on to the other side. So let me get this thing tacked down, and if I run into anything weird, I'll bring you back. If not, I'll just show you the end results. I have my little pieces holding the door in. If you look at my gap, hopefully you have enough light. It's real good across the top. On the side, it's good. On the bottom, or on the top, I'm sorry, it's good on the bottom. It's really tight in the middle, and if you look, the body line is not perfect. Actually, it's actually gapped a little bit. On this side, though, on the front, body line is perfect, and my gap is great all the way down through. So it still needs a little bit of tweaking, but I think it's all right. I think it just needs to relax this part of the car. Like this, the body might have to come out a little bit through the middle here. So I'll worry about that later. I'm gonna just blow this side out, and I won't bring you back unless I have something weird. You can see what I did. I used some ratchet straps just to keep tension where I needed tension, and that worked pretty well. Once we make it all car shaped, then I can get it fit for the frame. The thing with doing Chevys is there's really not much information out there on this car. Like if this was a 32 Ford, I could get any dimension I needed to off of the internet. A Chevy, no, you can't. So I'm just making this body, I don't know, symmetrical, and that's what it's going to end up being. But I know the wheelbase of a 32. Well, I don't know it, but I looked it up. I can get the wheelbase of a 32 Chevy. I might cheat it a little bit. I might need it a little bit longer. We'll see. But once I get the body where I need it, then that'll tell me where the rear axle needs to be. When I know where the rear axle needs to be, I can build the frame and figure out where the engine and transmission needs to be. I have a set of fenders for this car, so it'll just kind of, everything should kind of fit itself. We'll work through it. But that's how we're just going to build this car. We're going to just make it fit, and then make it fit, and then make the next piece fit. See, this is what happens when I ramble. So being that it's going to be a fendered car, the frame at its factory spot is going to help me a little bit. Now, I don't have the factory frame. I don't have the skirting for this car. I'm going to have to build all of that stuff. But I have pieces and parts. We'll make it work. But anyways, I'm just running my mouth and not my welder. So let me get that other side blown out, and then we'll bring you back for the next step. Well, yesterday I dismissed the body line. It's just being a little bit off, and I could just tweak it with the door. And that might be true, but I got thinking about it afterwards, and I didn't do anything with the other side yet, the passenger side. I just stopped for the night. Thinking about it though, this thing really hasn't been on a frame. This hasn't been a car in probably my lifetime. So I was thinking that I could just adjust the door to match the lines, but I'm not really sure that the body is where it needs to be. It might not be a matter of the door being off, it might be the body is off. This car needs all the help it can get because I'm the builder. So I better at least make sure that I'm doing everything to my ability right. So let's get a string out here, some tape, and we'll just see. We'll see if the body, you know, the corner to the cowl is correct, and I just have to mess with the door. If all I got to do is mess with the door, then I will just leave it for now, because it's really close. I mean, I'm not. We're talking less than 1/4 of an inch. So let's just see what the body looks like. Let's get a string on it, and then we'll go from there. So my camera angles are not the best. This garage is so tight that I can't even work with a tripod yet. Once I get some things out of here behind me, it'll be better. But for right now, this is what we're gonna just have to deal with. So the body just stays out. I think if I tape it far enough back, right on this line, right there, we can follow it to the front. Right here. Oh, this might be more than one-hand operation. Bear with me. Bear with me, working. Okay. Oops. Okay, so if you can follow the string, it appears that the body is okay and the door is off. So that is taped right to the cowl, same line. It appears that the door is what sags. So I guess we'll just leave it then. If we have the body straight, I can mess with the door when I need to. But I feel better now knowing that I at least checked that. So now we can tackle the other side. I'm gonna have to move the welder, push the car over this way so I can get to that side, and then we'll jump to work over there. Okay, the passenger side is considerably worse than the driver's side. You can see this windshield pillar, the A-pillar, it's beat in here, it's got a dent here. I'm gonna have to work that out to try to get it close to straight so that I can fit the door. Same with here, it's blown out. While this looks pretty bad right here, it's really just So the Chevys were all wood, the frame for the body, and so I don't know what you would call it, the A-pillar. I mean, it's the A-pillar, but it's all in pieces on a Chevy. So there is a metal, I don't know, not quite quarter inch, probably 3/16 piece of steel that the door anchors to. You can see the maybe you can see the door hinge here is screwed through it. It fits in this channel on this body here. You can see how it's tacked. So this is tacked into the wood. The other piece kind of sandwiches it, and that holds this into shape. So with that thing following the door instead of the cowl does this. Once I free the door from the car, I can put this kind of back where it belongs. That'll hold this into shape. I'll just put a tack weld in it if I need to. I didn't have to put a weld on that side, but I might have to on this side just to kind of keep it in its shape. Like I said, I'm gonna have to try to get that a little closer to straight right here. Gonna have to work that a little better. Now, this side here, see if you can see that. See that crease all the way around? This side here is pretty caved in. And not only that, but from the other side, I don't know if you could see right here, you can kind of see light through this hole. It actually has some pretty, let me get you inside. It has some pretty bad pitting through this section right here. And that's this section right here. So I'm gonna try to get this out. I'm most likely gonna just have to put new metal through here, but we'll see what it comes out like. It's gonna need patches anyways, so if nothing else, even if I can get most of this crease out, I've got to put some metal through here. Another bullet hole, maybe a bullet hole. Got some rust up in here. Where else? On the door I had some rust. I don't know if there's enough light. Well, I don't see a hole through there, but it's kind of pitted through here. I thought there was a rust hole in this door somewhere. Oh, right here. It's under the strap. There's a rust spot right there under the strap. It's got a booger here. So this passenger side is going to be the most work on getting this thing car shaped again, as you can see. But all right, well, let me get this door off, start getting this thing into shape, and we're just going to repeat that side over here. Once I get it pretty close, I'll bring you back, then we'll work on getting it car shaped. Door's off, and as you can see, it's pretty twisted and sprung. We'll have to mess with that a little bit. The A-pillar was actually broken. You can see this jagged part here. I just took my cutter, cut into it, just removed that piece. It's sitting right there. That made it much easier to get off of the door. Actually, that side. These hinges are pretty sloppy compared to the other ones. So I have to do something about that. Burn this back together best I could. It's actually pretty close to where it belongs. You can see, maybe you can't, this is kind of still twisted out. So this is still kind of rolled funny. It's close. There's still a little bit of a dent here. On the other side, this little triangle is more straight in line. So I'm gonna have to get the dash off, and I'm gonna have to bump it that way. But I think it's pretty close, or at least close enough now to fit the door. So I'm gonna take a measurement where I have these ratchet straps. This side is welded on. I can release that ratchet strap. I'll probably leave it on, but I'm gonna measure from that mount on the front to the bolt that I have that strap on, both sides, and make sure I have it square. Then I'm gonna try to untwist this door a little bit and get it on. Then we just got to work on this quarter. I'm probably going to get that piece of floor out of here because it's going to eventually hold me up. So let's take our measurement and get this door fitted, and then work on this quarter. We'll go from the head of the bolt to the center of that mount is 59 inches. 59 inches. So let's turn around. And from here we have get off down there. We have 58 3/4. So I actually got to kick this body back a little bit. And there is 59 inches. Okay, so now the body is ready for the door. There. There. Let me shut this noisy thing off. Alright. There and there. This door kicked my butt. If you look, this gap is awful. It's into the body. It's like rolled out. Here, let me see if I can get an angle where you can see that. It's like, it's rolled out. There's a dent here. There's a dent here. This one's gonna need a bit of work, but I have my gaps good. I have my lines good. I was real careful on this door to make sure that it was right. I did fix that one off camera just because it was bugging me. So, so I don't know if you can kind of see it right under the wood, but I've made sure that that line was right again. I cut those little 16 gauge tabs and fixed it. So I have an intact body now. Next step. It's torn in that corner. I'm going to pull that back in and stitch it together a little bit just so my body's shaped about right. I'm going to get rid of these straps that are holding it together, Oh, these clamps. I'm going to find center of my cart. I'm going to find center of the body. I'm going to shift it to where it's center, and I'm going to weld it to the cart, just like on the front. Now with that in place, the body is now straight line front to back, so it would go straight down the road. The problem is, if you look, it's still wonky, it's still all over the place. So I'm going to put a straight line down the middle of this cart, and then I'm just going to make the body symmetrical. I'm just going to measure from points that I have on both sides, and I'm just going to make sure I have the same reading on both sides. I'll see which one of these sides actually looks the nicest, and I'll follow it with the other side. And that's as close as I can get it, because it's a Chevy, not a Ford. There's no dimensions anywhere on the internet. So let me fix that, get this centered and welded in. I'll snap my line, and I'll show you what we're doing. And then once we have it where we want it like that, I'm just gonna take some angle iron. It's actually a couple old bed frames I have, and I'm just gonna brace this thing all up so that it can't move anywhere, and we'll be ready for chassis work. No, we'll be ready for the front end work. I almost forgot, and I really don't know how I got this far into the video before I thought of this, but when I first put this thing on Instagram, not when I first put it on, because I put it on when I first bought it, but when I first drug it down to start this project, I put it on Instagram, and I was doing some hashtags, and Instagram named my car with a hashtag suggestion. Are you ready for this? 1932 Chevy. This is Project Deucebag. So let me get back to work on the Duecebag, and I'll bring you back once I have it all squared up. Now I have taken every measurement. Oh, I hope this isn't echoing too bad. I didn't think about that when I started this inside the car. I've taken every measurement that I can, and I am pretty confident that I am sitting absolutely straight on my cart. So I welded a plate. I don't know if you could see it, but I've welded a plate, so this thing is welded to the cart, straight line front to back. And like I said, I verified that. Every corner, everywhere where I had something symmetrical, I measured. I'm dead nuts straight on my cart. So I couldn't find any measurements on the internet other than the car is supposed to have a 109-inch wheelbase. It's probably going to be 112 maybe. Anyways, that doesn't matter. I couldn't find anything for the body as far as how wide it should be. I mean, it's kind of flopping. I know my sides are the same length, so I know that I have it kind of shaped right. But I don't know if I'm too wide, if I'm too skinny. Like, I don't know anything. So I thought I was going to be really smart, and I bought a toy model, and it's a 1/32 scale. So with a micrometer and this toy, I thought I was going to be all set. Now, granted, this is a cabriolet, mine is a sedan, but now I can't get it open. But I took the body, and I took my mic, and I went across the front of this cowl, and it was 34.9 inches when I did the math, and I measured across the front at about the same height. I mean, obviously it's pretty generic, and I was like 35, so it's like, all right, this might work. So I measured everything, wrote them all down on a piece of paper. Well, it's not right. So this door comes out to like 32 inches. The car is like 35 and a half or something like that. It's like 52 inches from the cowl to the rear wheel, and in reality, I can't remember, 59, 60 inches, something like that. So it's really not going to help me any. But I can follow the taper at least, and I looked at 20 or 30 on the internet, so I kind of know the shape of the car. So my plan now, I'm going to make it shaped like I think it should look, according to the pictures, according to the car itself. And we're just going to see what that looks like. So let me get a string tape down here, whatever, and let me start taking measurements. and I don't know, I'll bring you back and show you what I've come up with. I believe this is my final shape, or close to it, pretty close to it. I am symmetrical left to right. Can't really tell because of some of the beat up, you know, body panels, but at the cowl I'm right, at the doors I'm right, and right in front of my rear fenders I'm right. Well, symmetrical. Best I can do. Maybe I'm too far in, maybe I'm too far out, but there's just so much beat upness. It's really hard to tell, but the body itself is actually shaped. It appears to be pointed probably in the camera because there's a dent right here in the door, but it appears to me that my shape is right. So again, there's a dent here. It's kind of hard to see for sure, but I'm happy. I'm comfortable that with what I have now, I can brace this up, and I can make it work. So I'm gonna just weld some angle iron all over the place in here just to hold it firm. That way I can cut it free from the cart and it'll still hold its shape. So I'm gonna spend, I don't know, a little bit of time cleaning some rust off of the different spots, and I'm gonna just cage this all in. Okay guys, so with all this done, all caged in, all square, I'm gonna call that the end of this video. Keep watching. We're gonna keep working on the Duecebag, and you can see new clothes. That's because that GoPro is a turd, likes to just drop stuff off. All right guys, so anyways, I will see you on the next episode. Come back, see how far we get the next time. How in the world am I gonna get out of this thing? Ugh. Got so dirty getting into it. Oh, I'm coming. Oh, yeah. Bye.